Welcome everyone, it's Ryan here of Ryan Edit Photography, and today we have an awesome episode of Small Business Shoutouts where I feature amazing vendors in our local community, sharing their passion and talking everything in between. So I'm joined today by Eventify Management. The whole gang is here. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Hey Ryan, how are you?
Great. So let me give you guys a little bit of bio about our guest today. So Eventify Management Group was founded in 2017 by its current 4 partners, Aji, Gino, Nithu, and Sharif. So 3 years and 25 weddings down, Eventify has expanded into an 8-person team focusing on event coordination and planning in the tri-state area, with their specialty being in South Asian weddings. Eventify prides itself in building relationships with their current clients to ensure stress-free events that create a lifetime of memories. Awesome. And you guys have been featured in Maharani weddings and Wedding Wire, right?
That's right.
Awesome. So can you tell me a little bit about how you guys, how this all came out together? Were you guys in happy hour somewhere and just like, yeah, let's start wedding planning?
Yeah, actually that's what we do every single time after.
Pretty much, that's how it all starts.
Yeah, so I guess I can answer this. So basically it started, I had been a wedding coordinator for friends and family, just doing it years ago. Gino and I used to do party promoting in college, and Gino is very big about organizing events, and he was always like, you like planning weddings, I like doing more of the behind the scenes stuff. Why don't we start a wedding planning business? And we put it off for years. Finally, it just became a habit of me doing weddings all the time. And there's a lot of other wedding coordinators in the industry, and Gino kind of like kept pushing me to do it. Shri and Nithu and Gino, the 3 of them didn't really know each other. I was on different, like I was friends with all 3 of them, and I worked with the 3 of them on different events. So I decided to call them and say, hey, let's bring this together. I introduced the 3 of them to each other. I wanted to bring a team together that I thought would be we can work and be creative, but not just be a group of friends who decided to work together, but actually bring something to the table. And that's how the 4 of us came together. And we've been inseparable since. No, I'm joking. But
You're not joking, that's true.
No, we started as a 4-person team, and now we've expanded to an 8-person team. We've been busier. So there's 4 other members of the team who kind of work under the 4 of us. The 4 of us are the leads, and the other 4 kind of get a little bit more direction from us, and we kind of call them the secondary team. And so we've done 25 weddings in 3 years. So next month will be our 3-year anniversary. And we have 25 weddings booked for the next year. So we're about to double in size just of our events. So we're going to probably have to expand the team a little bit more next year as well. So if anybody's interested, reach out, because need some more help, because we are double and triple booked a lot next year. So it's exciting stuff. So we're, the team's excited.
Awesome. Okay, let's hear from the other cast of the group. Like, what were you guys' reactions when you got invited by, I guess if Aji was the main mastermind? I
can start with that.
Yeah, you share me.
Yeah, for sure. So Aji had come to me, and we were working on some nonprofit stuff, I think, at the time. And he came to me with this idea, and I said, of course, Aji, you would be the one to do this because you are the social butterfly of the group. So of course you would know folks who would need like event coordination, or you've done it before. And I think Aji's strength is he's able to pick out the right people for the team, because to his point, is that you could get a group of friends together and you would just have a great time, but you probably wouldn't get as much work done. But the folks that he picked to kind of start this group off, I think were instrumental in like the success that we've had so far, because we all work really well together. We get along, but all of us kind of get down to business when we need to. So my initial thought was, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's kind of see where this goes. And 3 years later, like Ajay said, we're doubling in events next year. So clearly we've been doing well so far, knock on wood.
That's so awesome. So what about Neetu? Can we hear your
Yeah,
side?
I was at lunch with Ajay. We lunched together often when we both worked in the city, and he brought this idea to me. I thought he was just telling me an idea he was doing. And then he kind of presented it as, would you be interested? And so it kind of fell into my lap, which I loved because I'm an accountant and I love to organize events with friends and such, but I've never gotten to do it on a big scale, such as weddings or something. And the fact that he thought I was capable of doing it and wanted my help, I jumped on board as soon as before he even finished the question. And so for me, it's such a creative outlet that I get to do since my 9-to-5 isn't so creative. So it was a great opportunity. Plus, like Shri said, I think it worked out. Our chemistry as a group, just even the four of us, was just really good. We clicked, we're professional. So it really helped us become the team that we are now.
Awesome. And Gino, let's hear from you.
Well, the best for last, always. As you mentioned, I was really pushing him to do this because he is a social butterfly, and he knew a lot of people, and he was doing events for quite a number of people. He did it for his cousin, his friends, and then I also had done it for my cousin and friends. And Ajay and I were friends throughout college, and we were part of multiple groups that we did planning. So it was a natural progression, I would say, to wedding planning. So it was something that I would bother him, I think, morning and night for quite some time. And then, because he would tell me about all the weddings he was doing, I was like, this is a great opportunity. And we always said we wanted to start something. And honestly, couldn't have been better that he brought in Shri and Neetu, because like we all work really well together. Everyone has their own talents. So it became a cohesive group. So that's how basically this thing came together.
That's awesome. And it's great to hear that you guys are playing off each other's, strengths and, building from there. And to hear that you guys are growing at an awesome pace, 3 years in, that's so awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so before we move on to the next question, if you guys could please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Leave a comment, share the video, and I appreciate everyone's support in growing this channel. All right, and so moving on, I just had to get that in. And so I want to know the story about the company name. So you had this idea, right? And you had the people. So like, what do we call this, right? So how did that come about?
I'll take this one, guys. Let me tell you, right? It was a painful about 4 to 6 months of brainstorming, I would say. Again, like this started late 2016, the idea of the formation of it, and I think. Initially, we had suggested the name Marquee Events because Ajay and I in college had a South Asian party promoting organization that we promoted events all throughout the clubs of Philadelphia. So it was a natural, I guess, also progression to just trying to incorporate it and thinking of variations of marquee. So we're like marquee memories or marquee moments. And some people, I'm sure
didn't
like the idea because she just thought we're going to she didn't want to relive her college moments. And so we wanted to think of something that would be impactful. And we threw out other ideas like on-time events, things like that, but it wasn't really sticking. And then one day we were just Googling things, just putting names out there, feelers, and I came across, I was typing in events, special, memories, and this word, Eventify, popped up on my search, and I looked into it. I think it's one of the definitions is to make a memorable event, and that's exactly, we wanted a one word that can just be like, bam, right? It's right there. Like you don't have to like Google, we don't want to create it too long, so that, and we always wanted to focus on creating memorable and special events for individuals. So Eventify was like that word for us. So that's exactly, honestly, that's how it came out. Just a random Google search. But.
Was there a voting phase, or you just like got solid on it?
Yes.
Like, this is the name.
I think with that word, it was instantaneous. Like the tree was the first one. I like it, then Aji, then Neetu. It was like bam, bam, bam. Like it wasn't like, the other ones are like, no, bye, things like that.
I was the hardest to please. So once you kind of
Yes.
got my approval, it was probably a little easier.
I assume this is all over like beverages, right?
Yeah. Our first meeting though was at Shree's house, and we put Post-its all over the wall.
Yes.
And we actually put names on there, and we're like, will this work? Will this work? And we had the Post-its all over the wall. Kind of wrote it out there, and we voted. And then from there, every day for like, no lie, like Gino said, 4 to 6 months, we would text every day, and we'd throw a name out there, and everybody would be like, no, no, no. And then it would just go every day. And we actually, we had to each think of 5 names, and it was a tough process. And the ladies of the group are harder to please than Dino and I. We were just like, let's just get a name and start this. And they were like, no, it has to catch. It has to stick with us. And,
But aren't you glad? Because we're Eventify.
Yes, exactly. No, we agree. That's why we keep them around.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, but 4 to 6 months, was it? You said that's quite a
long process, and I think this conversation.
That's quite a process.
Yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning, we were texting each other.
Yes.
That's awesome, and now you all agreed with an awesome company name. So that's great. So let's move on to the next question. So I wanted to know what you guys have as far as tips for couples on picking their planner, since you guys are a planning team and specialize on South Asian weddings. I mean, you could speak in general, or you could speak for like specifically South Asian weddings. So
yeah, I can take this one, because I think picking a wedding planner is really important, or a wedding coordinator, whichever way you go. There's a couple of general things that I think everybody talks about, which is dependability and communication. So like your coordinator or your planner has to be very dependable. They have to be there when they say they're going to be there. They have to be able to communicate with you. So if you're trying to get a hold of your planner and you can't, and days go by, or something urgent comes up and you can't get a hold of them, even just in the consultation phase, like that right there is a warning flag. Like, you want someone who's going to be there for you and understands that it's your special day or your event, and they have to be able to service you that way. The other thing I think is really important is that, you want a planner who not only is honest with you, but is really upfront about expectations, so that they can also give you the bad news, because you want to be a partner with your couples. And so if something doesn't seem right, or if you want to talk them through different options, you have to be able to tell them what will work or what won't work. I think that's really important. And 2 other things I think are really, really big are personality, and then the opportunity to understand and trust the other person. So whenever we talk to our couples, the thing that I always tell them is we end up trying to be an extension of you and your significant other, and ultimately like an extension of your bridal party and your family, because that day what we try to do is make sure that everything goes the way that you envision your day to be. So if that's your wedding, or if that's your shower, or if that's your birthday party, we want you to enjoy your day. So your wedding planner should be an extension of you, so they understand exactly what you're looking for, what's important to you, so that if something comes up, they can take care of it for you. So you're looking for trust, good communication, dependability, and really personality. And I think any of these guys, you can chime in, all of our couples, we're pretty good friends with still. We've had dinner with them. We've hung out with them afterwards. We keep in touch through social media, babies being born. I think it's a really good relationship that we have.
That's so awesome. Yeah. Do you have anything to add, Ajit?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sri touched on all of it. I mean, I think the biggest thing that I take pride in is the fact that we have built a lot of great relationships, not just with our couple, but even the vendors. I mean, think about it, Ryan, like even how we met, and you know, it's been a really good relationship that we've had with you, and just even like through social media and things like that. So like, I think it just, what Sri said, we build this relationship from the beginning to the end. We like that open communication, and it really helps us. It shows the couples that we're like how reliable we can be, and also then their family feels comfortable with us that day. And that's how a lot of our weddings that we've done so far have been referrals from other weddings that we've done, because they've seen us and they felt comfortable. They were other members of the bridal party, things like that. And it really does go a long way. And I don't think we do it because it's our business. I think it just comes with a lot of our personalities. We're a pretty social group. So it really helps out. But I do think that everything that Sri touched on, and I think we take a lot of pride in that, and just really continue to do that.
Yeah, and it gets to when clients become kind of like your extended family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You see them, yeah. So those were all great points, and I wanted to ask the next question, which is, being that we're just about the things are just moving to, I guess from like yellow phase to green phase, or however, you know, they're gonna uplift all these lockdown. So do you guys see, since 2020 seasons just like, I guess, about to start for some, or I don't know if you guys have done some weddings before everything, you know, changed, but what trends do you see on this upcoming, like whatever's left of the wedding season that we're gonna have? Do you see any like trends coming?
Well, I guess more than like fashion trends or decor trends right now, especially with the pandemic happening, the biggest thing is to keep in touch with your venues, keep in touch with your vendors, like over communicate with your coordinators, especially. Right now, follow guidelines, keep up and see if, you know, if 10 people are allowed, if 50 people are allowed, and work as, you know, things are changing, I guess. It's a difficult time, and it's an unfortunate thing that's happening to couples who have probably put months and a lot of money into planning a wedding. But right now it's, you know, anyone's guess at this point. But, you know, as things change, you know, if 10 people are allowed, then so be it. I see a lot of people getting married in their backyards and just streaming it live on Facebook so that their families can attend electronically, you know? So at this point, it's, I guess, go with your gut, you know? A lot of people have postponed, but some are continuing with their dates and doing the best they can with the guidelines that are given to them.
Yeah, there's that thing too about everyone has a different comfort level in terms of,
Right.
they might be told that, yeah, just show up if you feel like it, but on like they're not really comfortable being, you know, in a
public
big
area
crowd,
right now,
or
yeah.
something like that. So that's a challenge that I think, you know, we're all have to gonna like pivot towards how we're gonna all adjust. But do you guys have any other anything other to add with regards to like, you know, trends that you see in regards to like planning?
I mean, I think, so what Neetu said is, so a lot of our couples have rescheduled for 2020 to 2021. So what we did was, something we established was, we've been trying to reach out to all of our couples 3 months out, in order to kind of prep them, to find out exactly where their head is at right now, what they're planning and what they're thinking, because it's better than waiting till a month before. We want to make sure everybody is 90 days out, feel comfortable with if they are going to move forward with it. Have they been talking to their vendors? If they do need to reschedule for next year, we want to make sure we accommodate them, because a lot of, and you know this too, Ryan, that a lot of the couples that are rescheduling will probably end up double booking, and we want to make sure we accommodate as many people as we can next year. So with a lot of the trends that are happening is that couples are moving forward with their wedding on the date, but they're just doing a smaller wedding. Like Neetu mentioned, maybe a small ceremony, and then they're just postponing their reception, especially with South Asian weddings being so large.
Yeah.
You know, they're like 250 plus weddings easily. Most of the weddings that we have are at least 450, 500 weddings. So we've been trying to tell our couples, make sure you talk to your venue even about next year when you reschedule. What are their accommodations going to look like? Is that going to change your layout of your reception hall? Things like that. Just getting ahead of it. I know a lot of the reception halls don't have the answers yet, but we've been trying to really spend time with our couples and talking them through the process, and really being involved as much as we can, respectfully, of course, just because we want to make sure they're asking the right questions. I think a lot of people are very flustered at this moment with the uncertainty. We're trying to just be those, an extra resource rather than being another vendor to them, but really just kind of help guide them a little bit more too.
Yeah, because being in the tri-state area, you guys have to keep tabs with like what's happening in New Jersey, what's happening in
Exactly.
PA.
Right.
I mean, New Jersey could be in the green phase and PA is still like, behind. And
Yes.
then, that's, I mean, I guess impressed that, you guys are like a whole team and, you guys are probably like brainstorming all of these. There's more minds like, working
yes.
together.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I mean, I'd go crazy being like a one person team.
Our group chats are always filled with kind of what the guidelines are, and if we know if there's 10 people or 25 people now allowed. So we try to keep up with stuff. Just to add to what Ajay was saying, we also advise all of our couples to take a look at the fine print in their contracts also, because you're looking to postpone, or sometimes you're looking to cancel because, like Neetu said, you might want to have a small backyard wedding, but you have to look at, what the deposits are, how you've paid them, if it's something you can get back or use for credit. So for folks who are listening and who want some tips, definitely reach out to your coordinators. And if you don't, reach out to your venues and your vendors and take a look at your contracts. We've been in touch with so many of our other vendors and partners, and everybody's willing to work with the couples. It's just kind of making sure that you can accommodate if you're looking for a new date, or just even financially figuring out what the best option is.
Awesome. All right. Well, on the next question that I have for you guys. So can you just give us your quick top 3 tips as far as for brides to have their day flow as smooth as possible in regards to like planning?
Ooh, I'll take it. I mean, I guess tips when it comes to planning. Be as transparent and be as over communicate with your coordinators. Over communicate. You're never going to share too much information about your wedding day. I mean, you really would be surprised. All the information that we need, if we don't have it, we'll end up asking for it. So we're usually, it only makes our job a lot easier. So I think that's one tip I would say is really make sure that every part of your schedule that you think your coordinator needs to know, let them know it, because they will eventually ask. And if they don't ask, it's because they don't know what to expect. So really let the coordinator get to know who you are as a couple, so they kind of get a feel for what they should do that day and really working through your day. I think that's one tip that we always tell our couples.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if Neetu and Shreve,
I always tell couples that if you think it's going to take 15 minutes, it's actually going to take 30 or 45. Always build in buffer time, especially for the ladies in hair and makeup. If you think you're going to be on the chair for 30 minutes, you're not. You're going to be more. So I think adding in buffer time, and just even for transportation, think about traffic, think about distance, think about the fact that you might have to mingle with family who come talk to you. So all of those things, a minute here or there, it could tack on an hour at the end of the day. So I would say another tip is just time management is key, and adding in some buffer time so you're not scrambling that day.
Awesome.
I'm going to say one other thing. This is another tip, and this is going to sound really funny, but if your parents, especially South Asia wedding, if your parents are a part of the wedding at all, if they're helping pay for that wedding in any way, or even if they're not, keep them involved, because they will throw in their opinion at the 11th hour after the schedule is finalized and try to make a lot of changes. So you might want to keep them involved as much as you can at a safe distance. Just kind of like keep them involved as much as you can, or keep them up to date with things as they're happening. And especially with South Asian weddings, with a lot of the traditional portions of the wedding and the reception, it's very good to have your parents involved in that, because they know the best information when it comes to timing. We're really good about asking those questions. I would like to say, like, to our couples, like, hey, does your mom and dad have any opinion on this? And they're like, no, it's okay. A week before the wedding, hey, you have to have 30 minutes because my parents want to do this. And I'm like, you have a very tight reception schedule already. But these changes happen. And these are things that we've noticed happen a lot. So make sure you loop in all the people that you need, loop in your vendors. If there's things with your schedule that you feel like your photographer and videographer should know, let us know. We'll make sure they have a copy of that. Your DJ, MC, we usually work with them, walk through the program with them the morning of, send it to them ahead of time. But make sure your vendors get to know each other as well. And it just really helps make the day a lot smoother. We take over that day for you. While you're getting married, we're you. We're the ones that make your day happen. So we want to make sure all your vendors, all the information you gave them, we should know that same information to make everything effective that day.
Yeah, those are great points, because especially with South Asian weddings, there's a lot of very important customs and traditions, and they vary from different religions like Christian,
Yes.
Catholic, and the multi-day events too. So that's very, very important with the communication. So, going back to the last job that we worked all together at Princey and Melvin's wedding, I think less than a year ago. So that there was I'm trying to remember, but the day went by really smooth. So I really appreciate. I can remember we had like a phone call, I think 2 days before or something.
We did,
because there were still some things that we were trying to iron out for that day.
Yeah, with the photography schedule, I remember we were trying to make sure that we were able to get all the shots that they wanted. And we don't like to step on anybody's toes with other vendors. We want to make sure you guys are able to do your job. So it really does help, because at the end of the day, you guys are there to do your job. We're just there to make sure everything runs smoothly and everybody's expectations are met.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think we worked with a couple of events already, like for some time now. So that's really cool. Okay, so I guess we've talked about a lot of great stuff, and I'm coming up to my bonus secret question for all of you.
Oh no!
I can see you guys are all excited.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
It'll go around. So everybody will just like give me your answer. So what is your favorite beverage?
Oh.
It could be, I don't know, alcoholic drink. It could be like a regular, I don't know, tea or whatever you guys are really indulgent on.
Indulgent.
I'm gonna have to do one of both, right? Alcohol.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's hear it.
My favorite alcoholic beverage is Tito's and Club.
We could have all answered that for him.
Yes, we could have answered it for Aji.
I know exactly. They could easily answer that. They literally have a Tito's bottle waiting for me anytime I come around. My favorite non-alcoholic would be, I drink a lot of water and I drink a lot of green tea, but if I don't drink those, it would probably be an Arnold Palmer, like a half and half, like half iced lemonade. Those are probably
Aji, why don't you tell them your special concoction of like lemonade, no ice, whatever that you order from these fast food places? I don't understand it.
That sounds
it's half iced tea, half lemonade, no ice, light ice.
His own, oh my God, he makes his own Arnold.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'll do like parts of it. So anyway, okay, you can go to the next person. Clearly, they're.
I'll say my favorite alcoholic drink. I love a good dirty martini. I'll say with olives, blue cheese stuffed olives are even better. But regular drink, I mean, I'm gonna be basic and I'm gonna say coffee. I need to have a cup of coffee every day, and the sweeter the better. So maybe it's more sugar than it is coffee, but I still like it.
All right, next guy.
I would say I need chai. Like I think that's like I grew up on it. So I can go. I have to have at least a glass of chai a day, or if I go without it, it's just something in the back of my mind. Like next day, I have to get it. Like So yeah, I would say chai.
And Shree.
Okay, so favorite drink, non-alcoholic. If I'm not drinking water or green tea, like Aji said, because I usually drink those pretty much all the time, I would say Diet Coke. I'm just a huge fan of Diet Coke. I know it's probably horrible for you, but I still love it anyway. And then I would say alcoholic beverage. I already know what it is. Aji's smiling because he probably already knows what it is. I like Patron. I like it on the rocks, or I will take it as a shot. But I would definitely go with Patron.
All
And
right.
Brian, if you're ever around her, she will bully you into taking a shot with her. So
True.
Yes,
That's not
yes.
true.
she will
Sounds
make
like-
sure you take a Patron shot with her. So that's why I was like, I can't wait. So yes.
Sounds like a always fun like group meeting every time.
Oh yes. Yes.
I feed you
guys.
too, though. So
I know.
So
She's also an amazing cook. So
amazing.
Oh yeah, I
we're
saw.
always-
Yeah, I see you have your separate page for all your.
oh, that's just all my food. That's my passion. Food is my passion.
yeah,
That's really cool.
we're hoping she will start a catering business. Actually,
And
yeah.
yeah, that's the next phase. That's the next.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
the next level, right?
yes.
That's awesome. So let's share where we could find you guys on social media. So for you guys, this is their Instagram page. You could find out more about them and follow them all their posts. Oh, there's a couple that we work together.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
remember. Oh my God. And do you guys aside from Instagram, do you guys have Facebook? You guys have Facebook also, right?
No, we actually don't have a Facebook page, and I think I can say that we kind of limited our social media and just even our like our media presence, like our advertising in the beginning when we first started. We were trying to just start off like kind of grassroots, like really word of mouth. So it sounds weird, but we wanted to grow somewhat slowly in the beginning, and just to show like people that we're very serious. We didn't want to be too in anybody's face about it. We were really just growing naturally, and it really worked to our benefit because that's how we are doubling in size in here, just because a lot of people have referred us, and that's honestly means a lot to us. We want people to actually use us because they heard something really good about us, of our presence media wise, and just be like impressed by our Facebook page or Instagram page or any of those things. We really want to just grow from actually word of mouth. So we do know that we should probably eventually start a website and things like that. It really hasn't worked. I don't want to say it's worked against us. It hasn't. But we really just try to minimize it as much as we can, not over marketing ourselves, just
I think it's also important to note that we also want to respect the privacy of the couples. So
Exactly.
we also make sure that, we get their permission to use all of their images that we take. But we like to use social media. We like to use Instagram to showcase their weddings so they can share those memories with their friends. But like Aji said, we pride ourselves on just referrals and word of mouth. And so far we've done a pretty good job about that.
Oh yeah, and you guys are still growing, so that's that's really amazing. Social media is like a huge time suck anyway.
Yeah. And we do on our page, we love tagging our vendors that we work with, which is you've seen that we tag you and you tag us, and we actually do have another wedding with you coming up, so that's kind of exciting as well.
Yeah. I think Ashley and Bob, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it would have been in May if it didn't get rescheduled, but yeah, so we're obviously looking forward to that, and I think it's I know, Brian, you've seen me in your, you know, these weddings where I'm like trying to take the same picture as you, like, and you know, I have to give credit where credit's due. You know, you photographers, you guys get that great angle, and then I'm able to take it on myself.
Oh, it's fun. I mean, you know, I definitely understand. You know that you guys are you need to get your content also. Plus, you know, you know, it's cool for the couples to get. I mean, I'm not getting like, you know, every angle like all the time. So you know, so and you know, of course, working with you guys, it's always a pleasure because you guys are very good with communication and organizing the whole thing, especially for South Asian weddings. I mean, big families can mean really like, you know, big, you know, like confusion sometimes, and it gets, you know, gets chaotic. So I'm glad you guys can just lay the hammer and get, you know, we need to get out of this church as this X amount, like, minutes.
We're not shy about it, that's for sure.
We're not quiet people at all. So.
Yeah, so. All right, well, it's been an awesome interview. I appreciate you guys so much for hopping in and, you know, at this, you know, giving me some of your time today and being on this interview. Appreciate all you guys, Neethu, Shri, Gino, Aji, and I'll see you guys soon on the next event. We'll be working together. So
awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, so guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment, share the video, and I hope you guys learn from like all the educational tips that they gave away and in regards to planning, and give them a follow on their Instagram, Eventify LLC on Instagram. And thank you so much, guys. Stay safe, be well. I'll talk to you guys soon, and peace out.